back to goldstocktrades.com. Today we have a new and special guest with us, Tom Currin. Tom is project manager for Voltaic Minerals, which can be traded as VLT on the TSX Venture and as VTCCF on the OTC. Thanks, Tom, for being here with us today and for giving us an introduction to Voltaic and some recent developments.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the time, appreciate the opportunity to tell your folks and investors what Voltaic is up to. We've got some pretty exciting news, we feel like.
Right, and it's an exciting sector, the lithium sector, and it's exciting being in America, where we're seeing the gigafactory being built in the Southwest United States. Tom, you have over 35 years experience in the lithium sector, and you've spent 15 years with FMC, which is one of the largest large lithium producers. Talk to us about your background and your experience and what got you interested in Voltaic Minerals.
Perfect. Well, thank you. Yes, I started in North Carolina with Lithco, which became FMC Lithium. Was there for 15 years, then branched out on my own doing lithium recycling and some new technology development. I've done consulting, technology provider contract work for all the three big lithium companies, not only FMC, but SQM, and then what is now Albemarle, which used to be Chemcial. So also with the DOE at Oak Ridge National Labs. So I have a considerable background in new technology, developing processes not only from the lab but to commercialization, and that's really my field of expertise. How this translated to my interest in Voltaic is that I sought Voltaic out because I was part of a group that was developing a new technology to extract lithium, which was totally different from anything else that anybody had tried to develop based on process criteria and commercialization. And we can get into a little bit of the process in a few minutes. But so my main interest in contacting Voltaic is we were looking for a project to a joint venture with and become a team up with, I would say. And Voltaic was a good match. And the reason being is that we were looking for a project that was early enough stage where they had not spent a lot of money and development time looking at a process, and they were already committed to either the conventional process or a non-conventional process. So we wanted somebody early enough stage, but we also wanted somebody that wasn't going to have to spend 3 years doing drilling, proving out a resource, somebody that potentially could be time to market much quicker than any other grass field project. The Voltaic and the Paradox Basin were basically the sourcing of lithium brines from old drilled existing oil field wells that had been abandoned. Looked to me like a perfect match, because here all you have to do, you don't have to spend the money to drill the well. The well is there. You have to go in and basically reperforate the well at a zone where brines had been found in the past, basically, and then prove out that resource. So you jump ahead in the resource, proving out the resource considerably, and that we would have brines available for testing in a new process. And in discussions with Voltaic at the very beginning, I said that the time to market was critical, and Daryl Jones, the CEO and president of Voltaic, agreed with that. We matched on strategy. We knew time to market was critical. So we wanted to get these brines. Once we had the brines sampled, we wanted to get them into a new process and then get them into a demonstration plant so we could move forward in the commercialization or and with offtake agreements with potential buyers such as the gigafactory and other sources. The other thing that was critical is that I spent most of my 35 years in manufacturing. I'm a manufacturing engineer. I'm a U.S. Red, white, and blue guy, and I'm kind of tired of seeing all our manufacturing and high-tech jobs go overseas. And this was an opportunity with this to develop this technology that opens up many brines. We call them non-conventional brines because they don't use the conventional technology because that processing is not available because of these the siting and the location of these non-conventional brines. But so a technology would open up domestic lithium supply. Currently, right now, there is only one lithium, small lithium processing from Brine in Nevada. And so the growth, I believe in the growth of the lithium and lithium for use in the electric vehicles, grid storage, and renewable energy. I think it's going to play a major part in that. And I want to see that lithium come from the U.S. instead of currently where it comes from we call it it's been named the Lithium Triangle, which is Chile, Argentina, and potentially Bolivia in the future. So this was an opportunity to basically create a technology and create a manufacturing processing down the road, a company that could produce lithium in the U.S. for lithium use.
So, Tom, it's the green energy lithium brine project, which you have in Utah, which Voltaic has in Utah. There's historical oil and gas production wells, and there's high historic numbers of lithium within those brine flows.
Yes, I mean there's a couple key indicators that make us excited about the possibility of a lithium resource out of those existing brines. I mean, this is in an area where there have been a lot of oil and gas. These oil and gas wells aren't producing a lot of oil and gas, so a lot of them have been shut in. So there's a lot of shut-in wells. These wells, just by their sheer dimensions, are the size of what we consider in the lithium industry a production well. These would be the size of production wells in Chile and Argentina if the concentration of the lithium. There is historical data that has taken samples, had complete analysis done from different zones that basically the oil and gas folks had to drill through. Of course, now understand that they're looking for oil and gas, and the last thing in the world they want is brine or water. So they've done everything possible when they drilled these wells to keep that brine flow out of those wells. The other key indicator, I think that shows us there's a great indication, is there's a potash, producing potash, Intrepid Potash in Moab. Their facility is about 5 miles from our wells. So we know there's classic zones that contain potash. Most of the time, the plus one salts, potassium, lithium, and sodium run together. Now, that's not always the case. But so we've got double indication. We've got historical data that shows some high numbers. We've got some, it's very sporadic and it's very old. And it's basically, we don't have a lot of information to basically say that for sure there's lithium there. But it's a good indicator. The second indicator is we're in an area where they're producing potash. So with those two indicators and the low cost of going in and getting a large sample. Now, when we talk about sampling, we're not talking about liters or gallons. We're talking about a 5,000 gallon sample from a well. And our cost to re-enter one of those wells and sample is minuscule compared to the development programs that new entrants into this market have performed in Nevada, Utah, South America, Chile, Argentina. So that's basically, that is the basis for why we want to re-enter these wells, get these samples.
So, talk to us, Tom, about the current partnership that the company has on with Lithium Selective Technologies on the processing design, because I know the key here is the engineering and the processing and the chemistry. So, talk to us about some of the advancements you've made with this exclusive partnership with Lithium Selective Technologies.
Well, and that's exactly right. People have to understand that follow the lithium sector. A lot of them are, we found out there, a lot of them are resource people, mining resource people. And what we have to educate those folks about is that this is not mining. This is chemical processing. This is impurity removal, salt chemistry. It's very different from beneficiation and flotation, and grinding, some of the key things in a gold project or a iron ore project or another mineral-based project. So one of the key things is obviously to have a resource, but what we're looking for in Voltaic and what Lithium Selective Technologies' vision is can we develop a chemical process? And our two main goals were, number one, that we remove the lithium without having to do a pretreatment to remove the other impurities. If you look at the lithium processing field in the world today, you have basically salt chemistry, evaporation, large ponds in Argentina and Chile. Okay, this basically is because of the high evaporation rate, the high net evaporation, and it's the driest place, one of the driest places in the world. You can use the sun and that evaporation to selectively remove and select out byproduct salts, lithium being one. So that is the current, what I refer to as conventional process. Now, non-conventional processes, there are people trying other processes. There are, but none of these advanced processes have been in operation commercially, except for ion exchange, which is used in Argentina by FMC. So, but in all those processes, they all require removal of certain impurities before you get to the lithium selective process. And this is a major cost factor in the extraction of lithium using the non-conventional process. So our goal, working with LIST, and LIST goal when they came to Voltaic was their process development model, and their process was designed to selectively remove the lithium without having a cost component, a major cost component associated with pretreatment. In other words, you feed a well brine into the system, you end up with a enriched lithium brine with low impurity levels in it, and then a depleted brine, which could then be re-injected back into the source. Now, if this process, once it's developed, and it is an R&D, and it is a game changer, if it's successful, this can be implemented in wellfield brines. You can, all over the U.S. You're talking about geothermal brines. So this opens up resources that are currently being produced that you don't have to go in and drill holes and rest. These are waste lithium byproducts that are at this point in the stage of processing are not viable because conventional processing technology, there's not enough evaporation. There's not a net. If you don't have good net evaporation, these processes, the conventional process doesn't work. So it requires a non-conventional process to open up these existing lithium streams in the U.S. And so that was the number one goal of the LIST process. The second goal was to use existing water treatment, absorption, purification, nanofiltration technologies that could be reconfigured with new materials in a different manner to basically achieve the goal. So you weren't talking about inventing IP. You weren't talking about a 5-year, 10-year research and development program. You were talking about a fast track program. The plan is that the first results and the first major decision point is within a 6-month time frame from when we started. That's a very short time frame for any kind of research and development activity. So the idea was that once this was proven in the lab, that because it was the modification and the reconfiguration of existing equipment, that the scale up to a demo unit or a commercial unit, demonstration unit or commercial unit would be very fast. So we see this tech. So those were the two main criteria that we could, and the other we basically set milestone markers, cost markers, that we needed this process to be below $2,500 a ton lithium carbonate price. This would enable us to be competitive in the world, even with the South American brines. So we felt like we're commercially driven. We have a totally different extraction philosophy than anybody else out there, and we have a target goal. We know where we're headed, and that predicted cost goal is one of our key metrics that in investing and moving forward, we have to meet that metric or get close to that metric as the project progresses.
Tom Currin, Project Manager of Voltaic Minerals, which can be traded as VLT on the TSX Venture and can also be traded as VTCCF on the OTC. You can get more information at voltaicminerals.com. Thanks, Tom, for being here with us today and for giving us an introduction into Voltaic Minerals.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your time, and we look forward to giving you an update when we're successful in this game-changing technology for lithium processing.